Hey guys, Nick from Arch City Poker and ArchCityPLO.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about attacking weak checking ranges. So what I mean by this is essentially an unbalanced checking range. Let's say, for example, you have a player that you know he bets all his top pair plus, especially on dynamic textures and or wet textures. So essentially flops that he feels like he needs protection on. And they're going to, these types of players, they're very straightforward. They're going to bet all their top pairs plus. So what that means is that generally we don't want to attack that bet as often because with a merged range, yes, you're still going to have, or you're going to have a lot of middling types of combos like those top pairs, all his flush draws, but you're still going to also have combos at the top of his range that you're not going to have fold equity against hands that he feels very comfortable continuing with, obviously. But if this type of player doesn't balance his checking range at least a little bit, then you know that if he checks, he is deprived of any top pair plus combos. So what we need to do to exploit these players is when they either check back or check to you as the pre-flop raiser and you're in position, we need to bet at a very high frequency. So let's use the example where your opponent is out of position, he's the pre-flop raiser, he checks to you on a pretty dynamic texture, you know that he's going to bet top pair plus every time. We don't really need to worry about how much equity our hand's pushing here. We don't need to worry about what we block as much. We just need to know that our opponent's very capped. So yeah, you don't want to choose just probably complete air because we're probably bluffing too much then. But if you have a gutter, if you have a backdoor straight and a backdoor flush draw, so let's say on like queen 5 deuce, you have jack 10 and you have a backdoor flush draw, we need to stab with these combos more often, planning to barrel the turn. Because if our opponent checks and calls, we know that he's labeled with some kind of under, or like a pocket pair under the top pair, or the top card on the board. We know that he might have some kind of weaker draw. He might have like an ace high type of hand. Against that kind of weak range, that weak checking range, we need to attack more often. Now, let's switch the scenario and let's say you're the pre-flop raiser out of position and you check to an opponent on a pretty dynamic texture and he checks back. Usually in position, they're going to bet for value. They're going to bet for protection on these dynamic and or wet textures. So when they check back, we need to prepare to delay c-bet on the turn, planning to most likely barrel the river and barrel our opponents off of one pair or a weak draw that possibly missed, that maybe they have equity with it. Maybe they have like a nut draw where they have ace high. If we have king high, queen high, then we want to fold that hand out, obviously. But I think you guys get the idea. If you have an opponent, bottom line, that just bets all his top pairs plus in a spot, he bets all of his flush draws, most of his straight draws, then his checking range is going to be very weak, and we want to attack that not only with one bet a lot of the time, but with the plan to barrel against that weak range. So if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and let me know. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, click the link, check out ArchCityPLO.com. I have even more no limit content, more PLO content since the last video I made. I'm downloading content daily on average. So go over there, check out that site if you're looking to improve your no limit and or your PLO games. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.